Hey, how's it going, Robert?
Oh, hello. Hi here.
Yeah, how's your week going so far?
Oh, organizing. Still in the weeds, but we're clipping our way out.
Nice. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, my mind's been kind of similar, still figuring things out, but trying to get as smooth as I can, you know.
Yeah. Ah,
Yeah, let's see. I've got a member joining here. Let's approve that. Okay. So yeah, I want to try and talk about niches in this meeting. We'll try and wait for some people. See if we can get some more people in there. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, which area did you say you're from?
I'm in central Minnesota.
Okay, okay. Is that? I'm guessing it sounds. Is that like a little less city wise? Or is it quite still quite busy?
Well, the town I'm in is population of the town's about 10,000, but if you went 25 miles and around it, you probably got another 50,000 in the area. So lots of small towns and, people drive from the small towns to like here, or there's a bigger one up north about 45 minutes. And so we got everything here we need for the most part. And of course, with Amazon and of course, we have a Walmart here. So yeah, it's not too bad. But
Okay, okay. Sounds good. I'm not too sure if so my clocks have gone back an hour for the UK, so I'm not too sure if that's had like some kind of effect. I think the US time should be the same, right?
I right now it's 6 in the evening here.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't switched yet. I think it's this next weekend, maybe. Or might be this one. I don't remember. I know we're going to be setting back an hour here pretty soon.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think I had a quick look. Your one's I think next week.
let's see here. Yeah, I think it's next week, 20,
Okay, we got Larry coming in.
November 3rd, so Sunday
Hey, how's it going,
or
Larry?
Saturday night.
Saturday night. Okay, nice, nice.
Uh,
Yeah, Larry, did you want to give a quick little intro kind of thing? Don't know if your mic's working. Yeah, no, I can't hear anything from you, Larry. Yeah, maybe it's maybe a connection with the microphone, something like that, or some kind of setting. But yeah, I think yes. You say Saturday is when your clocks go back as well.
yeah,
Okay,
or
sweet.
Sunday morning at 2 a.m. I think we drop back an hour. So
Ah, interesting, interesting. Okay, that's cool.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
personally, I'd like to see them get rid of that. That's from a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable. All right, yeah, no problem, Larry. That's cool. Yeah, so I guess we can still kind of waiting for people, see if we can get some more people in, but yeah, we'll kind of
Yeah.
start off a little something. So yeah, I wanted to kind of talk about niches. Um, Obviously having a niche is a ideal thing because obviously it gives you a better advantage, especially if you have more experience and you know the niche itself. So I want to kind of go through people's, um, I guess, go through the process of people choosing a niche and kind of see what we can come up with. So let me quickly got a little Word document I quickly put together. It's a little something. Okay, so yeah, just a quick little note that I wrote down. So how to pick a niche. So creating and selling 3D prints within a niche gives you a few advantages: less competition, more knowledge of potential products, and understanding of pain points slash frustrations of people in a niche. So this allows you to sell to people who really desire your product rather than selling to someone who is on the fence. And let's put down a few different ways to kind of help people pick a niche and kind of work through it. So you have like the pain points, stuff that you've kind of gone through, any kind of frustrations that you've experienced. Obviously, you got passion. So that's the stuff obviously you're passionate about. Your profession slash expertise. This could just be your previous work, your career. Then obviously you have these other things like interests, books that you've read before. You know, whether you like sci-fi books or different kind of niche. That's a pretty good one. You also have TV shows. So any of your favorite kind of childhood shows or things that you're watching currently. There's always like a big following with TV shows. So there's a lot of different kind of 3D printed products that can relate to something. Then yeah, you have similar to that. You have movies. Then you can go through your internet history, and that can kind of just remind you of like the things that you're interested in, stuff that you kind of like watching, stuff on YouTube, wherever you're browsing, and then just looking around you. So looking at just things in your room, things around your house, and these are all kind of ideas of different things that you're interested in. So that's a nice little kind of intro to how to pick a niche, and yeah, so I kind of want to work through that and see if we could kind of pick some niches. So yeah, what do you guys think about that? Let's put it up on screen again.
Probably the hardest thing there is to do in selling prints online.
Right, right. Definitely agree. Yeah. There's so many kind of different avenues you can go down, isn't it?
Yeah, the if you're trying to get a fresh product and just trying to find it and figure something out that hasn't been done or that you can do a better way, that's what's hard.
Yeah. It's very like inventor type of, mindset. So it's pretty difficult to do, but it's definitely possible with the kind of right information and stuff like that. So let's stop sharing here. Yeah, Larry, did you figure out the microphone thing?
I think so.
There
Yeah, I
you
can hear you
are.
now. Nice one, nice one. Yeah, did you want to
I
give a
wasn't
quick?
getting audio through the headset either, and I was like,
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Glad you got fixed now, though. But yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to give it like a quick intro, the background and stuff like that? How long you been into 3D printing?
I'm Larry. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been printing since around 2020-ish, 2021. I've had an interest for a long time, but for a long time you had to build the printers, and I was like, I do enough tinkering as it is. I didn't want to build something and then have to mess around with it to make it all work. Do it with computers, do it with radios and stuff like that, being a ham radio operator. Now I work in the IT world. So
Nice. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I've been 3D printing around the same amount of time as you, so that's interesting. And what kind of machines do you have right now? Or machine?
so my other machines are offline currently. I have a G-Tech A20T, and then I have a Ender 3 Max. But I don't. Those are put aside, and I have a Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon.
Awesome. The that's taking a spotlight. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it does everything I want. I don't have to tinker with it to make it work. Any
Right.
problems I've had, it's either me tinkering and trying to push it a little bit, or trying something new that I haven't dove into, or it's failures on components. I've got around 1,700 hours of printing on it, and I just got it at the end of June.
Wow. That's been working away. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, and I think yeah, you've been kind of in the group engaging, which is awesome. I think I saw one of your recent comments. I asked you what kind of stuff you've been printing, and you said functional models, fidget toys, and then I think it was the model cars, right? Model vehicles.
Yeah, yeah. And then, one of the things I'm working on right now is I've kind of partnered up with one of the guys at work. Um, he does CAD work. And, we're working on a panel for inside the Jeep. So
Awesome. Okay. That's good. That's good. And do you have any kind of CAD experience yourself? You kind of dabbled a little bit.
I dabbled in it a little bit. I'm actually on the IT side of the house. I am the subject matter expert for my company. You probably have 200, 250 users, and I seem to be the guy that can fix most of their problems.
Awesome. Awesome. I like that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, in terms of like the topic of today, so kind of picking niches, did you catch some of the presentation? Was your headphones working for that?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so yeah.
I had the speakers, so I was able to listen while I was trying to get the headphones working and everything.
Okay, sweet, sweet. So yeah, I kind of wanted to help people like pick a niche and stuff like that. So there's obviously various ways to help people kind of narrow things down, because obviously it gives you the advantages to not have as much competition. You have more knowledge of the product gaps of what could be like in demand for people. So yeah, looking through the list, let me quickly present it again. Do you have any kind of like things that stick out to you in terms of what you could choose as a niche?
Well,
So
I've
these
been
ones, yeah.
looking at some stuff as far as vehicles, because I used to be a paint and body man, so fabrication and modifying the things like that's kind of falls natural to me. That's why this panel for inside the Jeep is something that I've been kind of working on.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Okay, so you have like a decent amount of experience with like vehicles and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I've been working on cars since I was 9, and I was a paint and body man for 10 and a half years before I became a medic. So
Awesome. Wow. Okay, that's pretty cool.
I've done fabrication, so fabrication of steel, working in the machine shop, welding, bending plates.
Wow. Okay, that's a really good background, especially like I know it comes with a lot of tools and equipment, so there could be some kind of space for 3D printing to kind of attach to some kind of equipment, maybe some kind of organizers. So yeah, that could be a thing as well.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, Stan? Anything good? I think you're muted. Yeah, I see. Uh, that's interesting.
That's different. I never heard that before on a call.
Chipmunks.
Yeah, it sounded
Yeah.
like it was saving it up and zipping it through there. So
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, look at the
Hey,
Yeah, we
color.
got a bit of a color
can you
change
hear
here.
me now?
hey, now he's
Yeah, I can hear you
Minnesota
now.
Vikings purple.
You may be Mike, but I'm the magenta man. Hang on, let's try again.
Yeah. All right, see how that goes. Yeah, maybe I can write down. Oh, it's the same. Yeah, it's all good. You can kind of see what happens with that. I think he's gonna join in again.
Hey,
There we go.
Oh,
Look at that.
right. There he is.
Awesome.
are we vaguely human now?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
As close as I ever am. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Didn't mean to disrupt you all and come in late.
Nah, no
What do you
worries, man.
mean?
No
I
worries.
think we've all been doing it. I came in with audio issues.
Yeah. That happens. It happens.
Kind of different doing the straight web rather than running a Zoom app. You know, it seems to have a hard time syncing up with the camera, but I've got a cheap Logitech cam, so who knows? Yeah, and part of my dinner still in my beard. I apologize.
The quality is good though. Some good quality. So yeah, Larry, I'll kind of write down a quick little list. So you mentioned vehicles and then fabrication, right? Yeah, so kind of let me go back through and then, well, what I could do actually is I'll copy and paste it into the chat, and then we can kind of just go through. Let's see. So yeah, so I've kind of just put a list down there to kind of see and narrow down some niches in terms of interest, profession, passion, and stuff like that. So kind of what I wanted to do is like write down a list, and then even in the future, maybe even like try to see where I can think of products for you in terms of that, right? So yeah, you said with the vehicles, you're talking about the Jeep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then in terms of like profession, you said like fabrications one side, and then radio. You said radio was part of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm a ham radio operator, so I've created a couple of little mounts that work. I want to expand into something like Fusion or SolidWorks, so I can, Tinkercad works, but I end up using Microsoft 3D Builder to help fix some models because Tinkercad's just so
Quirky.
I don't know. Yeah, quirky. When you're sitting there working it through the browser and you're trying to get all the measurements and everything. So
I feel like you're doing one of those child elementary school tests with pounding the round peg through the square hole some days. Yeah, I know that one.
yep. And then like I had a model that I couldn't get stuck together, so I just exported the STLs and went into Microsoft 3D Builder and said, there you go, it works.
I understand the 3D Builder is disappearing from the Microsoft store now.
Yeah,
I just saw that pop up just as I've been using a Libre Atom as a somewhere in between the subscription version of Fusion and the infinite bullshit of Autodesk and the shenanigans they love to play with licensing. Because I've fought with Autodesk since, oh my gosh, it must be like 1980 when Heath Zenith still made the H100 computer and they had to downgrade the graphics to make it IBM PC compatible. And even back then, they were dicking us around, and that was Westinghouse Defense. I mean, our lawyers could have eaten their lawyers at that time, but
right.
Autodesk has always been a frustrating outfit to deal with, and they've canned products. So I jumped off the Fusion bandwagon, and although I'm a Linux bigot, I just keep a couple Windows machines up. I bought a Libre Atom. It's $50 a year for maintenance. They push out updates.
Okay.
It works. It's a lot cheaper than SolidWorks. SolidWorks used to be a great deal if you joined the Experimental Aircraft Association. You got it for free. Now it's their cute little maker version. And I'm not sure what it does because all their ads are just, oh, I'm so cute and bubbly. And me and Liz are hanging out by the vinyl cutter at the makerspace. It's like, I don't want to get into that stuff. Yeah. SolidWorks is high dollar. The free version of Fusion, probably, I have never looked at it from 3D printing. The last time I fooled with it, I was dealing with it from a CNC machining perspective. And
that's what we're looking at work is we have a 3D printer at work that we've done a couple of things on, and we have plasma tables, and one of the machine shops is looking at upgrading to CNC machines so we better fabrications. So, it's like either use Autodesk Inventor, which has its quirks in there, or go to Fusion. Because we're a big Autodesk shop. So
okay. Well, then,
and since
as much as I like to flip the bird in the general direction of Autodesk over the years, I will say that they consistently have very good. If you're going to use their CAM component, their post processors tend to be very good and very stable.
Yes.
Whereas, other people's post processors tend to be, why did my machine just accelerate to 12 zillion meters per nanosecond and beat the snot out of the tool changer? Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So,
Yeah. But yeah, let's
there are times one must give the devil his due.
Like I was saying before you came in, Stan, we have like 250 licenses. And on
Okay.
the IT side of the house, I'm the subject matter expert to be able to work on AutoCAD. So since we went to named licenses, I'm one of the few IT guys that has a license for all of our products.
Rank has its privilege.
At first, the part of the team was like, "Well, why does Larry get a license?" And someone goes, "How much do you know AutoCAD?"
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Good
still
point.
learning it. Larry supports these guys.
Yeah, if
I
you're going to
support the
support it, you
designers,
got to
the
be able to run
techs.
it.
So that's where we're standing at.
Nice, nice.
Must be nice to have that tropical island you're living in there. It wouldn't be those funny shadows and all that light stuff going on behind your head, would it? Come on, tell the truth. You're in freaking Fairbanks and there's a blizzard outside, right?
Vegas.
Mm.
Okay, so yeah, basically, Stan. So the point of this meeting mainly was to help kind of pick the niches. So do you see the comment in there? I'm not too sure if you'll be able to see it. So check the comment section, and I kind of pasted in how to pick your niches. I'm not too sure if you can see that.
Well, let's see. What am I seeing here? I'm seeing your messages. I'm seeing.
I can pin it, right? Let me see if I can pin that.
I see it in there.
Yeah, because I think Stan joined maybe after I put it in there.
Yeah,
But what
it
I'll
was
do,
after. But
yeah, what I'll do, Stan, is I'll quickly go through the Word document I made, so you can have a quick look at that, right? So I'm just going to share my screen. Yeah, it's just a quick little thing that I put together. So how to kind of pick your niche.
Okay.
So yeah, picking your niche gives a few advantages: less competition, more knowledge of potential products, and then understanding the pain points and frustrations of people in a niche. So it allows you to sell directly to people who desire a product rather than selling it to someone who is on the fence. I just put this little kind of comment here.
Okay.
Various ways to pick your niches, and then we're just kind of working through and seeing where we can,
Play to your strengths.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Kind of our own
Yep.
advantage.
Play to your strengths and figure out what people want.
Exactly. Yeah. So let me just
Fair
put
enough.
the comment in there again. So yeah. Do you want to kind of go through this real quick and kind of see? Because yeah, Larry was going through your one. You put down the vehicles, got fabrication, got a radio, so ham radio operator. Then you also mentioned CNC machines as well, right?
yeah, that's part of the direction we're going in at work. So, so I've been talking to some of the designers there, and so we're looking at things on that half. I mean, because you can do a lot of the stuff that you can do on CNC, you can do in 3D printing. It's just 3D printing, you're adding materials. CNC, you're removing materials.
Yeah, additive manufacturing, and then yeah, the other side of it.
Hard to 3D print tool steel, though.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. That's, and then like at work, so I work for the water district here in Las Vegas, and I work out at the water treatment plant. And some of the stuff that we have out there is one of a kind stuff that was developed because the plant that I'm at, we process up to 600 million gallons of water per day.
Wow.
And then,
Dusty.
so it's, and then we have another plant that does 300 million gallons of water a day, especially during the peak and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that was built afterwards. So a lot of the stuff that's at the plant I'm at, it was built back in the 70s. And since they were one-offs, some of the stuff, things are wearing out. We can't get the parts anymore. So it's like mock-ups we're doing on the 3D printer and nylon and ABS. If it's something that we can make it where it works, then that's how we're getting it back online. Then it goes down to the machine shop and they machine things.
Yeah, I was going to say, going back to the 70s, I imagine that it would be kind to say that the documentation for many of those things is sparse to darn slim.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, I've done a few legacy gigs myself. Yeah, yeah, I don't
Okay,
have
yeah.
a whole lot to contribute to the finding your niche because like we've talked about before, I'm not in the sales thing. I'm in the just nerding out and having fun and dinking around with it, but I've been doing it for a long time. So
Okay.
I probably will be more passive on this particular area because it's not an area that I can share any success or particular insight on.
Yeah, I think you still might be able to kind of yeah, see kind of gaps just as a like a thought exercise, I guess. But yeah, so yeah, Larry, do you have like, let's say general kind of interest? Do you have like maybe 2 or 3 kind of just general interest outside of work that you have?
Well, that's like the vehicle stuff and everything. Because after doing this panel for inside the Jeep, and that was because someone asked about it, so we're working on it. So I took my dash apart so I get the panel so we could actually have something to base our model on and put a front panel instead of a cubby. And then in the future, there's some stuff that I want to build for my Jeep, and I'm going to mock it up probably in PETG or PLA, and hopefully it'll work out using ASA or some glass-filled ABS to be able to maintain it because it's a lot lighter than trying to machine metal.
Great point.
So,
Great point. Yeah, that's interesting.
Have you
And how
tried
about
PC carbon fiber?
not yet.
Oh, that stuff is wonderful.
strong stuff in it?
ASA does some great stuff too, especially if you can
Yeah,
keep it
yeah,
hot enough so it doesn't warp and everything.
yeah. This
Good
PC
point.
carbon fiber, I've used it for quite a few things. Any functional part that needs super strength and it prints super easy. I
Right.
haven't had an issue with it, so.
Because one of my
But
things is in Vegas, it's got to be heat resistant.
Yeah, I was
So
going to
we
say PLA kind of runs down on the floor and glues the soles of your shoes to the floor mat.
exactly,
Yeah.
you know, and everybody at work. So at work there is one guy that has a P1S, the guy I've partnered up with, and then myself and another guy that has X1 carbons, and another guy just picked up an A1. So, you know, everybody's starting to pick up these bamboo labs, and they're like, wow.
Yeah, it's
So,
solid.
and then we have an old maker bot that's actually the one that belongs to the company.
yeah, I gotta say
So,
something.
Gotta do
I
next
got an
day.
A1 Mini a couple weeks ago with the AMF, and today I decided I wanted to put a 0.2 nozzle on it. I couldn't believe it. You don't even have to unclip a plug or anything. You pop that off and you flip open a little latch and pull the other one out, put the new one in, and that's it. You're done.
Isn't it glorious? I
Incredible.
love the
That's
Bluetooth
that's
nozzle on the
unbelievable.
A1 and the
Yeah.
A1 Mini. Yeah, they're
Oh my
So
that's
cool.
one
God.
of the things I like about the A1 series versus the
Yeah.
P1 and X1. But
Yeah.
the X1, being a XY core, I don't have a
Yeah.
plate that freaking slings around. It just
Yeah.
goes up and down. So
yeah.
I've sat
Yeah.
here, and the shelf that I have it on isn't as sturdy as I'd like it to be. And I've seen it.
Mhm.
I've seen it like shaking, and if it wasn't for the mat, I'd swear it was walking off the shelf, and my print
Yep.
still come out perfect.
Yep.
I was
Wow,
like, wow.
insane.
So
Yeah.
Gotta love
Yeah. I
it.
got the P1S and it. I don't know if I'd buy that again. I'd probably get the X1 because I had a whole lot of problems with that P1S early on. Just a bunch of little things, loose connections and other things that I suppose they got most of it ironed out by now. But
they've got a lot of it ironed out. I still see people with problems, but a lot of it.
yeah.
So this is what I lead a lot of my issues when I'm dealing with my X1 is that I'll try to do something, and it's like, that one didn't work. Or I'll try to just slap a filament in there and not dry it. Not like Vegas is that humid, but inside the humidity does build up. So I'll just throw something on there and not calibrate it. Well, I've learned that anytime I introduce a new filament, I'm calibrating it for the flow.
Yeah,
It worked that much better. P1S, you go to steel, get away from that stainless steel crap that they decide to cheap out with, and go to hardened steel. It's printing so much better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
So, Mike, on those niches you were talking about, what about is those in any particular order? You just kind of grab the list, or?
Yeah, I just kind of put a list together. So basically, based on the article that I wrote, you had like the 3Ps framework, which is the pain, passion, profession. And then obviously you just have these different things like the interest, books, TV shows, movies, history. So there's kind of different ideas that you can kind of just think about to get like a nice niche or set of niches for you.
I wonder if you want to, these guys, you guys aren't really into the commercial niche, you said, Stan and Larry. I wonder if we should save this for another meeting. And like you said, it could have been a time zone thing.
Okay.
Well, I'm actually surprised there's not as many as in the last call.
Yeah, me too. Mike was wondering if there's something with a time difference or just a fluke, because a lot more last time.
It's Halloween on the East Coast. Those with kids,
We could talk about.
Totally forgot about that.
And everything has to be participate in every event in America amongst those of a younger generation. It's insufferable.
Well, I mean, I'm on the West Coast, so it's only 4:30.
Right.
Trick or treating hasn't started.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Good point. I told you that slipped my mind. Yeah.
But I wouldn't be opposed that we do this on another call, just if there's more people there.
Yeah. Actually, if you want to do that, what I was wondering was, you said you were using that Libra program.
Was it
Stan?
Libre?
Was that?
I'm using a Libre Atom, and I'm using the workshop edition because it lets you install on multiple machines, but only have 2 licenses active. And that also gives you an unrestricted license to what used to be called MeshCam Art and is now MeshCam. And if you're also playing with 3D routers and you're tired of upgrading your Vectric every other second for $150,
Holy moly.
MeshCam, well, about every time they do a major update, it's $175 upgrade fee for VCarve Desk Pro.
Is that Libra or Fusion, or which one are you talking about?
That's Vectric, and that's much more of a router-centric type of a product.
I was looking at more from the 3D printing, exporting the meshes and that. I've done Fusion for the last 3 years.
The drawing tools in Vectric, until you get up into Aspire at $2,600 a seat fees, is purely 2D stuff. It's wonderful if you want to run routers. It's okay if you want to spit DXFs out for a laser. It's not hunky-dory for anything 3D.
Yeah.
A Libre Atom is, I want to say you can actually buy it if you catch it on sale for down around $100.
That's for Atom 3D?
What's that?
That's for Atom 3D?
Yeah, it's a full 3D.
So I'm on their site. That's what I posted. You can get a lifetime license from them for $199.
Yeah, I see that. So have you used Fusion, Stan?
Yeah, I did use it for a good while, and then when they started playing games with their free version and their small business versions, and they took out things like the HSM option out of their CAM for the free versions, and started requiring a lot of other things. I went, oh, I probably jumped the gun on walking away from Fusion, but it's like I've been left in the lurch by Autodesk multiple
Yeah. Well,
times when they discontinue things or they change the licensing terms halfway through a
yeah.
project. I don't
Yeah.
like people like that. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you,
Yeah.
you
Well, I
know,
was wondering what the
you're
difference
leading
is in
it.
the modeling and like, do they have a timeline and or a parametric, any of that stuff in
Oh,
that Atom?
yeah, a Libre Atom's a full parametric. It's a slightly scaled down version of their full designer package. Less the sheet metal stuff, less um, probably the sheet metal stuff and the FEA options and a lot of the fancier engineering type things, which really don't. Well, they're fun to play with, but I'm a retired guy dinking around with my third childhood, so it's like I I fooled with FreeCAD also. FreeCAD almost gets better, but then they screw up things, and they've got 18 different workbenches and every one of them behaves differently. There's no consistency throughout the
Yeah.
product. So
Pay.
I tried to find a Linux native CAD package that I could like, and I failed. And I said, okay, suck it up, accept the fact you're going to have to keep a couple Windows machines stood up. I do anyway, because there's no such thing as good CAM in the Linux world that I know of. It just doesn't exist. I've never found it.
Have you tried
There are packages out there, and the hardcore open source fanboys will always make excuses for it. But at the end of the day, I don't want to fight my way through every single project. I played in the world of IBM mainframes. Played within the world of the federal communities programs. I played in all those things where everything is an uphill slog to misery. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that in my retirement. I want things that just work. And if I have to throw 50 or $100 a year at it to keep a license live and let a Windows machine live, it's okay with me. I don't have the huge fanatical devotion
To
to
me, for what
anyone.
we're doing, $50 to $100 is not bad.
Exactly.
it's a good
Because
price.
if you do Fusion, if you go with commercial Fusion, so you can use Fusion for commercial stuff, you're
Yep.
talking $2,300 for one license.
Yep. A year,
And
right?
Crazy.
a year,
Yep. A year.
Yeah.
Yep.
$2,300.
Yep.
So so if you're in the commercial side, how much are you going to have to sell to be able to get $2,300 back?
Yep.
Unless you're
Yeah.
doing metal work and everything. And when you
Yeah.
start doing CNC, there's actually an add-on for CNC metal work for Fusion now, so that
Mhm.
it actually will export it to most of the CNC outputs for things.
So they at
Okay.
one point they took out they used to have CAM embedded within it, and it had a beautiful
Yeah.
CAM package for lathes. And
Yep.
I heard that they were pulling it out, but by then I'd already walked away from the product, and I
They
wasn't.
pulled cam out. They pulled a couple things out so that it became more general. So
Yeah,
if you were going to do like cam for things like that, you could actually add those into there for those specific things, because they started putting so much into Fusion,
yeah,
and it was adding complexity to the way people were using Fusion.
yep.
Do you use Fusion, Mike, or something else?
I've used Fusion a few times. Right now, I'm just doing a basic Tinkercad, simple. But yeah, I don't actually
Yeah.
like design that much these days. So
Yeah.
I've learned a little bit in
Oh,
the
okay.
Fusion. I kind of followed through like a tutorial, but yeah, I'm not too deep in the design world right now.
Yeah. I just wondered. I mean, I got the paid version for the, what is it? I think it's up around 600 and something a year now for the middle, whatever that is. And I always wait and they send you those 25 or 30% off notices. And I did
Yep.
that. And so I'm good till March, but come next time, if I can't get a super discount, I might just I start looking at something else because It is
Yeah, I've seen a
expensive,
couple
but
different softwares. Basically, there's this cool like competition, and they do like speed running design models. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. The guy called, I think, Too Tall Toby on YouTube. I'll probably even quickly just present it, right? So yeah, I've been kind of looking at what software they use on there. And I've seen a few people do Onshape.
Onshape, I've got friends that
Toby.
use Onshape and they really like it. At a CNC workshop, I was helping them do the CNC lathe builds, and they had done all the parts in Onshape. And other than the fact that you uncrate 12 Chinese lathes and you have 12 different slight variations in the castings of the carriages, so we had to do some manual touch up on the Bridgeport. Everything fit perfectly right away. You know, it was really, you know, folks I respect really do like Onshape quite a bit. I've kind of got an allergy to having everything living out on a cloud. I used to work in quite secure environments, and I have an aversion to that, just kind of hardwired into my system, you know.
getting harder and harder to get away from it, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. But
I mean, because Fusion lives on the cloud. So everything that's being done in Fusion lives on the cloud. And, you know, large companies like that I work for, we minimize our cloud footprint and keep a lot of stuff on-prem. I mean, water is a natural resource. So one of the things in military, and as Stan knows, working in that world, is your natural resources are your primary concerns.
they're your primary targets for the enemy. Yeah.
So
I was going to say, I imagine you had a lot of time, a number of years, a lot of fun playing with the Fibbies a number of years ago when they were doing the national infrastructure security reviews. Yeah, I was involved in a few of them. Yeah.
So I mean, that's a lot of dealing with. I mean, like SolidWorks Maker or 4Makers, that you can get that for $50 a year. You know, so you know, so and that's geared towards things that we do.
Okay.
I've been looking at some of these things. That's why I'm trying to learn a number of things. But it's like at work, you know, like I said, I kind of want to stay with one structure, not 5 structures.
Yeah.
So, because we have one new engineer that's trying to bring in SolidWorks, and he's the only one. And it's because he just graduated school, and now he's wanting, and that's what he learned. And
SolidWorks.
exactly, you know, and I'm waiting for that request to come across our desk. And since I'm the SME, that means I'm going to get called into a meeting, and they're going to say, "What do you think of this?" I'm going to say, if he's an engineer worth his grain of salt, he needs to learn Autodesk.
Yep. I mean, if
you
you
know,
got an internal standard, that's it. I mean, God, I
have
started
one-off software.
Yeah, I started in the days of punched cards, for goodness sakes. You know,
exactly.
I mean,
you know,
I went through more operating systems and programming languages in my life than I probably went through pairs of underwear, for goodness sake.
Same here. I mean, when I first started, I was with DOS 3.0. I beta tested Windows.
I was on an IBM 370 with punch cards. Yeah.
I know. I remember seeing those.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah.
20 years ago, when I started working at the water district, they still had AS400s.
Oh, yeah, they came out later on in my career.
Right. It was funny because they were having an issue, and I'm like, well, let's take a look at it. And they're like, you're a Windows guy. What do you know? I said, nah, I'm trilingual. I can do Macs. I can do Linux. I can do Windows. I dabble in AS400 years ago.
Yep.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
I said punch cards. I was at the tail end of that.
Yep. But one thing I will say about a Libre, you buy it and you own it. You don't have to have upgrades. There's very little in terms of licensing shenanigans.
So if you buy a lifetime license, you don't get updates.
Well, they have a
You get updates, but you're able to maintain it.
it's 50 a year, I believe, for Adam at least, is
Yeah.
what I pay to get updates. And but if you don't get it for a couple of years, then you want them, you give them the $50 and you get the updates for the last to bring you up to speed. They're not jerks about it.
Oh yeah, have you guys tried Shaper 3D CAD software?
Nope. I've seen it.
I've looked at it, and then I see that I don't know if you're familiar with PDO, Product Design Online, with Kevin Kennedy. He teaches a lot of fusion and stuff, and when they came out with Shaper, he did a series of lessons on that too, but I never got
Okay.
that far. I'm just, you know how it is when you're invested in it. I got 3.5 years in fusion and tons of projects that I've done on it, and I'm like, yeah, do I really want to deal with flipping over now? And then, you know, the
And that's
thing
one
is,
of those
fusion is
things.
updating. They update regularly. They're always doing something. So,
Well, another huge aspect that comes into the CAD world as it relates to 3D printing is, are you looking for organic modeling or are you looking
right,
for technical CAD?
right, and that's the big thing. They got the
Very
forms and fusion.
animals.
Yeah, the forms and fusion are a ways to go yet. But you know, I tried Blender too, and that's got such a horrific learning curve on it. But
Yeah, you do smack into
Yes.
the brick wall about the time you try to put a hole in the first cube you drew, don't you? Yeah, Blender's tough. There is another one called Sculpt GL, which is much more of the grab your finger and poke the ball of clay and wiggle it around in amusing fashion.
no, yeah, they have what is it? There's another one, a
Mesh mixer.
sculpting one. It's really good
Well,
for
there's
that. No,
Rhino,
it's
there's NURBS based modeling, there's all kinds of.
yeah,
But yeah, the
it's a,
whole organic modeling versus technical CAD are just, they're so very different that if
Yep.
you want to do both, you're probably not going to find one product that you can just pick up and slide your arms into and sit down at your desk and go rock and roll in either world.
mhm.
You'd
You
have to
know,
take the model from one to the other, and then from one
well, you may
the
not
other
even
to
be
this.
able to. I mean, they may not even have compatible formats because
Right.
technical CAD typically is very, very much vector oriented. There's no concept of scaling, there is no tessellation, there is no surfaces. That's just happy horse shit you render to make people want to give you money to fire up your 5-axis mill and produce the thing in some kind of metal or other material. And if it's a technical object, well, sure, you can do it in an STL and you can 3D print it. Whether it's a final product or a proof of concept, either one's fine and dandy. But, you know, if you want to make Daffy Duck and have the daisies around his head and the eraser come in and do all that weird stuff, you probably need to be in a modeling package. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to remember. There still is. Adobe has one. I want to say Autodesk. They've got a 3D, started with an M, and I'm blanking on the name of it now. Maya.
Hmm.
Maya uses.
I've heard of
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it still
Maya
is
is still
around.
kind of around.
Yeah, it's still
isn't that like
Maya
a
is still kind of
blender?
around, but
Isn't that like a Blender's a competitor of that or something?
yeah.
It was
Yeah,
of
Yeah.
that
Oh,
nature, yeah, and it supported a lot of animations and a lot of
I
things
did.
like that.
I just thought of that sculpting program I played with ZBrush.
Oh yeah, nice product.
Yeah, yeah, that's got some nice sculpting in it, and it's got the automatic where you can do the mirroring and things for.
Yep.
And I just haven't got that far into it yet, and I've been ready to, you know, with Fusion. See, I did have to get into it to sheet metal, and I had to do some stuff in that, and then mix it in with some woodworking stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and so that was worked out good. But Yeah, I don't know. This whole CAD thing's, well, I guess in another 5 years we won't have to worry about it anyway. All you gotta do is get into the AI and say, hey, I want this, and it'll spit it out. Yeah.
Oh, all you got to do is look at what happened with a few of the companies in the stock market recently. And you know what? They're literally
Yeah.
on the street corners looking at the AI parade going by, going, Mommy, the
Yeah.
AI emperor doesn't have any clothes.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Trouble is, it's moving so fast, it's hard to keep up with it, even as you dig
Oh,
into
yeah.
it, you know.
If you keep moving, it's hard to hit that. A really fast moving target's always harder to hit.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, but
So,
I
So
mean, if you remember the Japanese fifth generation, you remembered, my gosh, if I had $1 for the number of people that insisted that if you're not programming in pure object-oriented multiple inheritance with modula 2 within a year, you'll be
yeah.
unemployed. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
They're all unemployed. I had a job till I retired. Huh,
Yeah.
there you go.
nice.
You know,
So
it,
I
Yeah.
saw that I basically did an article. This is a while back, so it might be a bit outdated, but I just had like a few kind of CAD softwares. So some of these are just like apps and stuff, and then just a quick little list
Oh,
there.
there you go. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh, I saw
Unshape,
that article.
Nomad, Sculpt. Oh, nice. SketchUp, UMake, Tinkercad. Then I had another article, best free 3D printing software. So CAD, slices, and more. And then here's like
Yeah.
this table of contents. So you have the 3D modeling, CAD, and then you got a few options here. So yeah, obviously Blender, Tinkercad, Sculptress. Let's have a look at that. The video in there, yeah. Okay, interesting. It's pretty good. But yeah, a lot of these I haven't used, but I just kind of did the research. Not sure why it's
I
buffering
mean,
like
even for basic CAD stuff, you can use Bamboo Slicer or Orca Slicer because they have it built in already. So if you bring a STL into there or a 3MF, and you can modify it.
Yep.
It's a good
Easy.
point. Yeah, got a Bamboo Studio.
Yeah, slicers have a lot of, well, I think, I'm not sure really if it was Prusa who was the first one to start embedding a lot of that modifying stuff within the slicer. They were the first one I was familiar with doing it.
It was Prusa.
It was, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because both Bamboo Studio and Orca Slicer were, well, Orca Slicer is kind of a blend of Bamboo Studio
Right.
and
Mhm.
Prusa.
Yep.
And Bamboo Studio has a bunch of stuff that came out of Prusa Slicer.
Yep.
So, you know, so now Orca's kind of the splinter that beta tests everything for Bamboo Studio now.
Yeah, I typically find that I have happier days when I use Orca, but it's also because I've got a mixed environment, you know, where I've got
Right.
rig, I've got Cheedy, I've got
Right.
Bamboo, I've got Creality, vaguely resembling the way Creality originally built it if you don't squint and look. But
Right. Yeah, because I've been going between the two, especially when I see a new Orca Slicer come out. I've used it and go looking for it in Bamboo Studio. Then all of a sudden it comes out in Bamboo.
mm-hmm.
I mean, because like I said, I've been predominantly using my Bamboo Studio and saying, you know what, the others can stay in storage right now.
Yeah.
yeah.
I keep
Yeah.
once in a rare while, I used to run into some situations where a model just would not come into one slicer, but it would into others. But
Yep.
that is becoming a very infrequent event, at least with Orca.
Yes. I mean, because when I had my Ender 3, that was Cura Slicer, and
Right.
sometimes I had problems with some of the models, and I would do it in Prusa, and it came out so much better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a big fix for a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's people like complaining, oh, this model keeps on coming up terrible in Cura. They like switch over to Prusa and it just comes out nice. Yeah.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
the world of trajectory planning is something a lot of people, and people are getting it, and everybody here, I think, gets it. But 3D printers are still CNC devices. And
Mhm.
trajectory planning is a very complicated thing to get right. And when you add in the thermodynamics of basically running a hot melt glue gun all over the place, zippity, you know, it's interesting. You know, you get in a
It's
3D
impressive.
printer, you get stringing or you get voids, you get over and under extrusion, you get blobs. In a CNC machine, depending on the size of the cutter, you may not even hear the ting as the cutter leaves the scene, but the machine keeps zipping around. You know,
Yep.
it's,
Nice.
but yeah, it's sooner or later, it's all G code.
True. It's impressive stuff.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
a handy hint if it's of interest to anyone, something I had never seen before.
Yeah.
And that is, I saw a cosplay person talking about finishing models. And I'm always interested in getting best finish for the least labor because I'm basically lazy. I admit it. This woman was using a foot callus sander.
I saw that video.
Did you see
That's
it? What
hilarious.
amazed me though, I mean, other than that's a really cool idea. I didn't even know such a thing exists because I'm just not that fashionable a dude, you know, was that the difference in sanding between PLA and PETG was unbelievable. How
Yep.
PETG
well the
sounds.
PETG sanded. Because I never really contemplate using PETG. My experience with it is, oh, it loves to soak water out of the air. It's not as bad as nylon, but it loves moisture. It loves to be difficult to print when it's moist, and it tends to stay sticky longer than PLA. I've never really done much with PETG, but when I saw her proceed to get to a final sand in a matter of under half a minute, and then what it looked like with a single shot of filling primer, I went, daggone, I'm going to buy a foot sander and a couple rolls of PETG and go play. So just
Wow.
something for those who have not seen that, it's worth looking up.
Wait, where was that video from? Where'd you see it?
I wish I could remember her so I could give her credit.
Same here, because I sat there and I was looking at finishing models and everything, how to get a better finish, and it came across my feed, and I started watching it, and I was like, well, that explains why dealing with PLA is hard. Because
Yeah.
I was like, man, why am I working so hard to sand this thing out and it's not getting any place?
How much spot putty can I rub in with the ball of my thumb before I'm going to have something permanently embedded within me? Yeah.
Yeah. And then and
Today
when
I
it
wanted
came to the Pet G, basically the same model, and it was like, really?
Well, done.
Wait,
Minutes.
is it this video that I just linked here?
I don't know.
Have a look at the chat. See if it's the same lady.
Mm.
This is a video from a couple years ago. Oh yeah, she has the link in the description. Electric callus remover.
I usually love.
Oh, they want to make me watch 7 years of advertisements. Yep.
Go quickly. Yeah, that's the one,
That's
right?
her.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep, that's her.
Okay.
Good catch. Good catch, Mike.
Yeah,
Well played,
I'm a
sir.
researcher.
There you go.
Yeah, awesome.
I'd even forgot the ring and the schnoz that she had.
Right.
But yeah, I thought that was a
Nice.
very interesting video, and it made me go, wow, that's a different approach from what you normally run into.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy one for myself because I bought like another smaller one, but it's just like a spot kind of reducer, but not something that's like wide. So yeah.
Yeah, I
Great
guess it's
idea.
about an inch or maybe an inch and a quarter. Let's see, you're in the UK, so what's that? 25 to 37 millimeter, I think, to
Okay.
ballpark it.
Nice.
Yeah, and they come with, you know, like 60 of the discs. And,
That's funny. You're
Nice.
converting it to millimeters. When I was over there, it's like I'd go shop because I was stationed over in England for 5 years. I'd go shopping, and it's like half the stuff would have both measurements there,
Oh, yeah.
inches and metric.
Yeah,
I was like,
I think the meeting's gonna
wow.
end because we got under a minute for the meeting. But yeah, yeah, definitely next week we'll link up again, and yeah, we'll kind of do the niches with more people in the group. So okay, that's the end of the meeting. Yeah, let's kick everyone out. All right, well, thanks for watching, guys.